There's some new data out that shows the number of illegals arrested at our southern border more than doubled this past year compared to the year prior to that.
All right, here to react is the acting CBP Commissioner, Mark Morgan. First off, why are you still acting? How come you haven't gotten the job yet? A little strange. You've done an incredible job. It seemed like a short time ago you were here. But the numbers are still staggering. How do you wrap your head around it?
So, Brian, that's right. And I think that's a key for the American people to know that even though the last 4 months, this president, this administration, the men and women with CBP and ICE and other agencies have done an incredible job, incredible success. The numbers have gone down for the last 4 months, but still the numbers from last year almost doubled last year. And right now our apprehensions per day are still 1,400. Those numbers are still unacceptable. Yeah. We still have a lot of work to do.
And one of the things the president always touts is the fact that we're building a new border wall on our southern border. But explain how, and this has to do with the gigantic number of drugs still being smuggled into the country, how smugglers are using building the wall to distract people from what they're up to.
Yeah, Steve, so that's a great point for a couple different ways. One is it shows that the cartels and the human smuggling, they change what we call TTPs, techniques, tactics, and procedures. Every time we find out a new way that they're using to get drugs and people in the country, then as soon as we shut that down, they come up with a new one. So now, yep, they're dressing up as construction workers and using that to get around. And what the American people need to understand is this just isn't about the migration crisis. It's also the national security crisis. We seized 750,000 pounds of drugs. Last year, 68,000 people in this country died from a drug overdose. That is a national security crisis.
They're dressing up as construction workers, and then they're climbing the wall?
No, Ainsley, they're just going around the wall.
Yeah. They look like they're working on it.
How did you discover that they weren't actual construction workers?
Well, that's what the Border Patrol and other federal agencies do every single day. We're gaining information, we're gaining intelligence, we have sources, and we're out there on the front lines, we figure it out. This isn't new to us. They try all kinds of those TTPs to illegally enter this country. But again, the American people need to understand, when we talk about the wall, for example, it's not to stop law-abiding citizens or immigrants to come here to have a merit-based claim. This is to stop illegal immigration and, just as important, to stop the drugs from pouring into this country, killing 68,000 people last year.
Yeah, you have 276 miles under so-called pre-construction. You want 450 by the end of the year, but the numbers are unbelievable, up 113% from 396 to 851. And it would have been so much worse had the Triangle countries and had Mexico not cooperated. More cooperation than in Congress.
Brian, that is absolutely 100%. And again, all your viewers right now should be disgusted at that. We have the government of Mexico, the Northern Triangle countries, stepping up, seeing this as a regional crisis, and doing more to address this humanitarian and national security crisis than our own Congress. Our Congress has sat idly by while other countries have stepped up and done more. Meanwhile, drugs and illegal aliens are pouring into our country.
I wonder if the president's going to consider restoring the aid to Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador. Do you know?
So we are, and here's the area, but we've got to make sure that that aid going there is that we have our finger on the pulse to make sure it's going to exactly where it should be going, to beef up their asylum capacity, to beef up their interior enforcement, to go against the human smuggling and the cartels there.
Okay. Mark Morgan, thank you for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.